No side jokes, because you're not Mr. J.O. No making fun of me, because I made this previous to this weekend's game. So I'm really glad that the Broncos lost as well, because I didn't want to really hear it from you guys today because we lost. Okay, so we had the cool Ducks and the Broncos. Okay, so this section has to do with combining like terms. Okay, so when you're combining like terms and you're combining things, you're counting things that are the same. So if I'm looking at this picture, how many cool ducks do I have up there? And the answer is not 0, 5. Okay, so we have 5 ducks, and how many Broncos? 2. You don't put those numbers together to make 7 ducks and Broncos. Okay, they're separate. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so the next thing that we have that we're looking at is now all ducks. Some ducks are cool, some ducks are not. Okay, so ducks, they're both still ducks, right? Okay, so this time I'm going to represent them by X, Y, because they're ducks with glasses, and then just ducks, X's. Okay, so how many just ducks do I have? 2. Okay, so I said I was going to represent those by X's. Okay, so I have 2 X's. Okay, how many XYs do I have? 5. Okay, so when we're writing them, we write them alphabetical. Okay, so yes, this one has an X, this one has an X, but then this one now adds the Y. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're writing your answers. So if you had, like on the other one, I think we had five ducks, right? Wasn't it? So we had 5 ducks, and now I'm going to do Broncos B and Y. We had 2 Y. Okay, so you're going to write the X before you write the Y. It's not wrong if it's flipped, it's just proper if it's written in that order. Okay. Same thing here. When you have terms that have 3 terms, so say you had like 2x squared plus 3xy plus 1. You're combining them. You have the largest exponent, but it's also alphabetical down to the smaller exponent where there is none. Okay, so that they're not scrambled and written in odd order. So you have the 3xy first, and then like the 2x squared plus 1. This should be first, this would be second, that's going to be third. Okay? Okay, so obviously you don't need to write that on your notes. You're writing this next part. Okay, so we're combining like terms in this section. Okay, so number 10. It's our first one that you're writing down. And these are objectives 40, 41 if you're labeling your notes. So 7x minus, that's a 4. So 7x minus 4y minus 4x plus 7y. And so we're looking for like terms. You can only combine the like terms that are exactly the same. Okay, even though if they might have an x and a y together. Okay. So combining our like terms, so we have a 7x and a negative 4x. So a 7x minus 4x is going to give me 3x. Okay, so we're at 3x right now. And the x's are going to come before the y's. Okay, so now I'm combining the y's. Okay, so I have a negative 4y and a positive 7y. Find the difference, so we subtract, take the sign of the larger number, so that's going to be a positive 3y. Okay, and they're written alphabetical, so x comes before the y. You good on that? Hopefully remember that from last year. Okay, next one. Okay, so we have a negative 4 plus 6x squared y plus 5xy plus 2x squared y plus 7xy plus 3. Now we have a lot of x's and y's in there, but the exponents also then make them like terms. So you don't combine all of those that are right there in the middle, these guys, because they're different, okay? It doesn't matter if you go left or right when you're looking for your like terms, just make sure in the end they're written in the proper order. Okay, so I'm just going to go left to right. So I'm looking for another one that does not have an exponent or variable. Okay, Okay, so that's gonna be the 3. So I have a -4 and a +3. What? -1. Okay, -1. Okay, so I'm done with that, and I'm just kind of cross, maybe, cross out. Look at it again. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next one. So x squared y, I'm looking for another x squared y, and I've got one right here. So 6x squared y and 2x squared y.
X squared.
Y. Right, because we remember we don't do anything with the variables when we're combining or counting how many we have. So a +6 and a +7, or +6 and a +2 would be 8. Okay, alphabetical. Okay, so now I'm done with the x squared. Okay, so now the only thing that's left is just the xy. So a +5 and a +7. Okay, so am I written in descending order? No. Okay, so I want to have this one first. So 8x squared y, then what? 12xy, and then and don't flip your y and your x because they're written alphabetically. So you good? I'm only doing 4 with you, so we only have 2 more. Okay. This one's a tad bit different because we've got some parentheses involved now. Okay, so a -3 xy to the third minus a negative xy to the third. Okay, and then you're going to write simplify before combining like terms. Okay, so this one and the next one. Simplify means that if there's any distributing, changing signs, doing any of that before you actually add or subtract the numbers in front. Okay, so simplify before combining the like terms. So here, this is really multiplication. This is a negative times a negative. Well, a negative times a negative changes it to a positive. So this is what we have now. It doesn't drop the parentheses and change to multiplication. It changes to an addition. Okay, so as long as these are like terms, I can combine them. So I have an xy to the third, an xy to the third. What is in front of this xy to the third? A 1. We don't write 1s in front of them, okay, but we know that it's there. It's not 0, because otherwise it would be there, okay? So this is really a 1. So a -3 and a +1 would be a -2. The others to combine with it. Okay, we're good? Okay, last one. Number 9. So 6x plus 5 parentheses x minus 3.
We have to write the simplify before.
Not on that one. On that last one. Okay, so we are simplifying on this one as well. So it's just like having that negative that was out there. It was a negative times a negative would change it to a positive. Well, now we have a positive, but you've got this that needs to be distributed to both of them. So we have to distribute it to there and to there. Okay, so 6x, we're leaving that alone. 5 times x is going to be 5x. And then 5 times -3? -15. Okay. So we simplified it before we combined like terms. So now we can combine like terms. So that's just adding and subtracting. Okay. So I have a 6x and a 5x. That would give me 11x. And then this didn't have another one to combine it with, so it's just going to stay there. And it's written in descending order from variable to no variable. Okay, we're good? So there'll be some that's already just adding and subtracting, and you're just looking for like terms. Others that you're going to have to simplify it before you can combine the like terms. Because combining like terms is just for adding and subtracting. Okay? All right, so on the calendar is the rest of the notes. So make sure you're not doing the 4 that I already did with you, but you do it on a separate sheet of paper, okay? Because your notes that we just did, remember you hand those in with what? Lesson quiz. So don't put the assignment on the back, and then we have to try to find it.
This is not lesson quiz.
No, this is just finishing the notes, finishing the rest of the notes. So you're going to get on the calendar, click on, I think it's there, hold on, let me make sure it's there. Yeah, it's under the notes. Notes, Directive 40, 41. And then we'll grade it before the end of class, so.